So I'm going to go ahead and delete this line game object by right-clicking on it and hitting delete. And I'm going to go to my sphere over here. Notice the sphere has a rigid body here, which means it's being controlled by the physics engine in the game. And when you press play to simulate it, it drops to the ground and bounces here. I'm going to click on my main camera and go to Component, Camera Control, Smooth Look At. And then for the target, I'm going to drag the sphere onto that property. So now when I press play and simulate, the camera follows the sphere as it moves. So don't worry about those steps too much. That's just so you can clearly see the trail render that we're about to add. So go to Game Object, Create Empty, and we're going to rename it Trail. Hit Enter. Then go to Component, Particles, Trail Renderer, and now you have a Trail Renderer component on this game object. It has the properties of cast and receive shadows, which determine whether or not it casts or receives shadows, which is a pro-only feature. The materials are the appearance of the trail. I'm going to click this tiny little triangle here and find Fire Smoke, which is the same material we used for the line renderer. Time is the lifespan of the trail. So the trail is going to exist for 5 seconds before it disappears. Start and end width determine how wide it is when it begins to render and how wide it is when it dies. Now, what a trail is I'm going to move this game object around, and you'll see that a trail follows it. So the time right now of 5 means that this trail is going to last for 5 seconds before it dies out. It's not happening right now because it's in the scene view. The game's not simulating. Colors, you can animate the colors over time in the same way you can use the particle animator for particles. And I'm going to leave them all white right now. Min vertex distance is the minimum distance between the anchor points, like the keyframes on this trail right here. So right now, it won't get any more detailed than 0.1, and this is a performance optimizer here. If you make it bigger, it's going to be less work for your computer, but it won't look quite as smooth. You'll have more jagged edges like this. And auto destruct means, if you have that checked, this trail game object will delete itself after it hasn't rendered anything for a certain amount of time. So I'm going to uncheck that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to parent the trail to the sphere by dragging the trail game object onto the sphere game object. Then I'm going to open up this hierarchy, click on the trail game object, and set its position to 0, 0, 0, which means it's going to exist at the origin, the very center of the sphere. So now when I simulate the game, the sphere should drop to the ground and start bouncing, but then the trail is going to be parented to the sphere, so it'll create a fiery trail behind the sphere as it bounces around the level. So I'm going to hit play, and you see that this trail is being rendered. Hit play again to stop. If you click on trail and you make the time shorter, like 2, and hit play again, and you see that the trail is much shorter, only lasts for 2 seconds. And hit play once more to stop it. So that's how you create a trail renderer. Next we're going to talk about particle collider.